Budget and mid-range controllers have opened up the possibility of DJing for many out there that wouldn't have been able to afford it even a few years ago. One feature that you don't usually find on a budget or mid-range controller, and one of the most useful, is an auxiliary input. An auxiliary input, better known as an aux input, allows DJs to play a secondary source, such as another media player or smartphone or tablet. And this is useful in a variety of ways. And although most budget and mid-range controllers are missing this feature, for about $10, you can purchase one of these, a piggyback cable, and add an aux input to any controller. So before we go through the process of how to use a piggyback cable to add an aux input to your controller, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more tips just like these. A piggyback cable looks a lot like your normal RCA cable, but with one main difference. It includes an extra set of inputs. This allows us to add an extra input to pretty much any device, including budget and mid-range controllers. And a piggyback cable is just as simple as using a regular RCA cable. Just plug the extra input side into the output of your controller or audio interface, then just plug whatever secondary input you'd like to use into the input side of the piggyback cable, and it'll go ahead and play through whatever PA system or DJ mixer you're playing out of. So what are the uses for adding an extra input to your budget or mid-range controller? Well, number one has to be an emergency backup. Like I mentioned earlier, it's really easy to add an extra smartphone or a tablet to your setup, just in case something goes wrong with your computer or your controller. Because the tablet or smartphone is connected directly to the PA system or DJ mixer, nothing will interrupt the signal. In other words, if something goes wrong with your controller, you don't have to wait for that or your computer to reboot to play some music off of your phone or tablet and have it feed directly into the PA system or DJ mixer, so the party doesn't stop. Another great use of this piggyback cable with this extra input is to handle DJ changeovers. Say you're playing a party with one controller and you have multiple DJs coming in with multiple computers. Normally, if you didn't have this aux input, you'd have to cut the music, unplug one computer, plug in another computer, and then get the music fired back up. But because we have this extra input, we can use that smartphone or tablet that we used earlier in the emergency situation, play a song, have the party going, switch out computers, have the software reloaded and booted, and you can get the party going back without having a stop in the music. And that scenario is how I got introduced to using piggyback cables. Back when I would DJ and we'd have an audio interface with just one USB input, we need to find a way to play the music and not have it stop without having to juggle unplugging and plugging cables in the back of the interface. Using this piggyback cable, we were able to feed those inputs, be it a turntable or a media player, to the audio interface and the DJ mixer at the same time. It was a great solution, worked well, and saved my butt on plenty of occasions. Another fun use for using piggyback cables to give yourself an extra input is to daisy chain controllers. So say you're at a gig that you're playing with a friend and you both have your controllers, but there's only one input into the PA system or DJ mixer. Normally you'd have to switch off between the two controllers and there would be a lapse in music, again killing the vibe of the party. But with the piggyback cable, you can plug one controller into the other and have that one feed into the PA system, and both can play at the same time. This is a fun way to play a gig with another DJ that normally isn't possible if your controller doesn't have an aux input, but because we added one with this piggyback cable, it's now possible. For such a cheap price, it makes sense for DJs to carry one of these, a piggyback cable, in their DJ bag and make it part of their normal kit. You never know when an extra input is needed, and it can come in handy at any time. It's become a priceless piece of my kit, and I'm sure if you add it to yours, you'll feel the same. So I hope you like this tip and trick. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks just like this one, and be sure to like and comment on this video. Now get good, get out there, and make the moment.